Moving on, now we'll talk about mouse events in AngularJS. Angular has a set of directives for detecting mouse events like when the mouse enters a certain region or a click. So for all these users events, you can initiate actions on that. So let's understand this code, a very simple code where you have just an AngularJS and then we are using our CSS. We have defined two classes, red div class and the yellow div class. The only difference is this one is red in color, the other one is in yellow, while it's a box of 100 pixel, right? You see that the width and height is 100 pixels and there's a padding of 2 pixels. So you have box of 100 pixel defined in these classes. If you do not understand this, I have made a custom video for CSS as well in my channel, so you can go ahead and look for CSS as well. Now we have a simple app called Angular app, and there is no name to it. That means we don't need the script tag, neither we are using a definition for the app. We are not giving it a name, and we don't have a controller. So this should be very easy to understand. However, now the new Angular directive that we have is the Angular class. Okay, and we also have another directive called Angular mouse enter. Now this class will evaluate, it will evaluate to based on the value. If enter is just a model view, sorry, a model data or a variable. If it is true, then the class is red div. If leave is true, then the class is yellow div. So that's how this expression is evaluated. If its value is true, you apply this class. If this value is true, you apply this class. So it depends upon, you can make both the classes true, but then that's now how we have programmed it later. Now ng mouse enter is also a directive which will evaluate this expression. So this expression that you have, enter will become true and leave will become false. So when you have a mouse enter this div element, now what's this div element? This div element has a single term called mouse, right? Now in this, other things are not displayed. You see that other things are inside the tag. So the only thing that is displayed is mouse, and then it depends upon whether you want to show enter or you want to show leave. So if enter is true, then you show enter. If leave is true, you show leave. If both are true, you show both. But that's not how we have programmed it. How do we know how we have programmed it? We have done the programming here for the value of enter and leave. So in case of mouse enter, we have done it here. If the mouse enters this div element, then the value will be true. Else, value will be true and leave will become false. And when the mouse leaves, the leave value will become true and enter will become false. So let's run this in the server. Okay, in the live server, and then we have the mouse here, right? I'm entering this. Okay, let me refresh. I just slowly move on to, yeah, now you see that I have this mouse enter, leave. So this word enter becomes active if ng enter is true, ng show enter is true, and ng show for leave is false, sorry, is true, then you have the leave active. So currently I've left it, so this leave is active because the value of this leave is true. And how did it evaluate? Because on mouse leave becomes true. Very simple and interesting example of mouse events. More detail about the mouse events is there in the Angular document. And maybe we'll discuss in the higher level 2 classes as well.